Hello everyone, I'm Imkibitz, and welcome back to Factorio, where last time we went to space, and built our very first space platform, which we used to automate white science, which is now getting stored here and ready to launch back home, which is kind of funny, because we actually got space science before we got purple science or even yellow science. Like this is our science setup. It's very simple. But that's okay. We have a main bus of items over here and all the space in the world down this way. And so today we're gonna re-automate all the science along with the others. Oh my gosh, some of which we haven't even researched yet. But then use the science to get things that, oh my gosh, I wish I had forever ago. Like Automation 3. Better worker robots, Mark II power armor, and of course, uranium processing. But oh, we actually don't need the science for that. We can just mine uranium and we get that tech, but we won't be doing that. Negative Ghost Rider, we're doing this first. And real quick, as we start the expansion here, I made probably a big mistake. And I read some of the YouTube comments to see what people were thinking of the series. And yeah, people very frustrated in the comments with the mistakes I've been making. People are like, why didn't you read through the tutorial to see that you could do everything this other way and you didn't need the power and the batter boop up? Because I like to learn to play the game by playing the game. Is that so wrong? Of course, that's gonna lead to like a million different mistakes, but that's okay. That's the fun of it. And if you're not down for that, probably isn't a good series for you to watch because it will cause you a lot of anxiety, okay? And also people were saying the pacing was a bit slow, so I'm gonna pick things up a bit. I mostly wanted to make sure that new players to Factorio were able to see what the heck was going on and were able to follow along. But I think at this point, most people are picking up what's being put down. Like for a lot of items, you have to take one item, put it in a machine to get the other item out. Some things need more than one item, so you can put multiple things on a belt, etc., etc. And then for the science, it's kind of just like a MacGuffin machine where it's like, hey, I randomly want these things, and then you get the science. Same thing for the green science. Why does it need belts and arms? Who knows? How do you make that into a glass beaker? It doesn't matter. Blue science, motors, circuits, sulfur, done this before, and you kind of get the picture. We're moving and grooving now. I will say though, yellow science is, rough. I'm glad I waited to research this because low density structures, flying robot frames, those are very expensive items. I'm glad we scaled up a bit before actually diving into that. In fact, purple science is much better. Purple science wants freaking furnaces? You want a furnace and a beaker? What are you talking about, Willis? But productivity modules as well, and rails. Ugh. How do you make a steel furnace or electric furnace? Bricks, circuit boards, steel, and the modules need more circuit boards? Oh my gosh. So be it. We will continue to build all of like the prerequisite things we need over on the left side of the belt, and then we'll bring the items over to the right side of the belt to make the science. And then we'll expand the science just out the wazoo here. But the good news with a lot of this stuff is that we have factories built all over the place, right? So what we can do is just literally copy, paste, 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 and it's not usually a big deal. Mostly it's the spaghetti that takes the most time. And the more complex things get, the more spaghetti the paste evolves into. But look, it's I can't even say it's fine. It's kind of going all over the place. We needed like military things, and then we needed furnaces in here, and then we needed stone and coal and plates. Oh my, I'm losing my mind. But we're almost done. We just have to finish up the purple stuff. So it's just a little bit more copying and pasting. Oh my goodness, though. That is the one thing. As simple as a lot of this stuff can be, there's always the problems. Called getting factorioed, I think that's the word for it. When you want to do one thing, but then it's like, oh, something broke. Time to do another thing. We are very close to having all the science done though. All the production stuff is all ready to go. It's being brought over here for all the different science packs, but now something's wrong. Why don't we have red circuits? And we run up here and then, oh, that is not the problem I thought it would be. We don't have enough plastic. I thought we'd be like out of like copper or iron, but no, we got circuit boards out the wazoo. How do we not have enough plastic? Where's my plastic stuff? So this is kind of like our bus area. Trains and items being brought in here. This is our starter base. And then we have the oil being set up this way. Oil, I set you up so nice and like cleanly. Why do we have to have a problem? What is it? We don't have enough petroleum gas? Because we're stacked up on light fuel and heavy oil, okay. Like when you have excess fuels and stuff backs up, it stops the rest of your oil products from being processed. So this is what's happened. We've backed up on the 2 other fuels. And I thought that we could just make all of like the light oil and the heavy oil in a solid fuel, make it in a rocket fuel, burn the rocket fuel, and then we're good to go. But it is also backed up because the rocket fuel's backed up. Okay, how do we deal with that? We could set up another power plant, just like this one. It's literally just to get rid of excess oil, where we have the rocket fuel going into boilers and boiling water for steam, but that's crude, and that was kind of like a desperate attempt to get things working, okay? What else can we do? You, what's your deal? What can you do? Oh my gosh. We can make everything into petroleum. That's all we need, right? Petroleum is what we need to make the plastic. Petroleum also is what we need to make the sulfur, right? Right? Oh my gosh, and then that will get the whole system working and we'll get the items we actually want to get. Ooh. New model, copy, paste. This can be horizontally flipped, GGEZ. Then we can just do something like that, right? And we just tile that out the wazoo, and there's even space for some power poles. Okay, and then we just copy this whole thing again. Oh gosh, not there. Holy macaroni, that could have been really, really bad. But no, we just copy that whole thing again. And then when the heavy oil becomes light oil, we make the light oil into petroleum, and GG. Look at all that extra production. Look at all the chemicals. Aren't they beautiful? But no, that worked out great. We got petroleum for days. Plastic out the wazoo, and everything's running just splendidly. Look at all the fire burning over here at the beginning of the system. Ah, gorgeous. Oh yeah, what were we doing again? Why did we build all this? Oh yes, for plastic. The plastic that's going down here and making red circuits. Slowly. The red circuits go all the way to the end of the line, except for over there too, but all the way down here. And that makes our productivity modules and then the schmeltas for the purple sites. Neat. And will our factory be able to handle this? Absolutely not. I'd rather just build all of these factories right now and then improve the inputs later on. Like once we have better belts and better machines, maybe we can run a couple more of these. And at the very least, all these machines will be ready to go and items will be backed up, so when we actually need to do some more research, things start really moving and grooving. Because yeah, this is pretty overkill. But anyway, all the science ends up over here onto some mixed belts that I'm gonna have to like spaghetti through. And at some point down here, we'll start setting up our science labs, because this is gonna be our new lab space. It's not gonna be big, it's not gonna be super crazy, but having it built will help us out for later, just in planning. Like for example, I wanna have all these prepared, so when I'm building like road networks for myself to travel on, then it's like, oh, I know this space is kind of occupied with this, so I won't build the road over there. And then I'll build the roboports like beside the road over this way. And over here is gonna be where our main belt goes through. And yeah, it just helps me plan out our space. And man, I am very glad that I left a lot of room for this. Oh my gosh. In fact, you know what? I gotta build more bins for this too. I really don't want the factories to be idle. I'd rather have them storing all of the extra science packs in like this. So again, once we're ready, everything kind of like really kicks off. I don't know. I'll mess around with that idea though. Because at the moment, we are ready for research. We can get everything. Personal batteries. Ooh, cargo size for robots. Faster logistics. Space platform thrusters. Oh my gosh, but nothing else matters aside from worker robot speed. Give me that. Give me the next one. The next one. All of them. Oh my gosh. I've needed this for so long. All right, We're gonna get all of these research things together here, and then we'll get the space science a little bit later. So much to do, so much to learn. Do the science dance and be enlightened. But okay, this is all gonna take a long time. There is a lot of stuff I just wanna research through here. And in the meantime, there is stuff up here that we can get done. The factory, it's running, but it could be running better, much better. Specifically if we had any circuit boards available, our copper, our more iron, and yeah, kind of more everything actually. So we're gonna scoot over this way, and we're just gonna like double the circuit board production. Kind of have to do like a heck of a lot more circuit board production stuff in the very near future, but for now, doubling will be okay. And then we're gonna be setting up a new train yard. We're gonna bring some trains over here, and as some of you guys suggested in the comments, we're gonna set things up a little bit differently. Where instead of having the miners right next to the schmelters, we're going to bring the raw ore to a central smelting area, which we'll set up through this way. That doesn't give you your hall pass just to tell me how to do everything, okay? But the odd improvement suggestion is fine. But anyway, you guys have seen the train stations be made, so boop it. Wowee, look at all that chew. Smelters are all built. They're schmelting. Might notice a bit of a problem. Some circuit boards got onto this belt, number one. And number two, things are kind of running a little slowly. That's because the power grid is dead. The poor accumulators over here that like charging during the day, charge, dead. And everything's working very slowly. So we gotta solve ourselves some power issues, which is good. Still researching a ton of stuff. So this is like the best time to be doing these kinds of chores. Let's scoot on over to our existing power plant area. And we're gonna set up a bunch more solar panels. A lot of you guys are probably like, Kibbs, set up nuclear, it's so much better. Don't worry, we will set up nuclear. I just don't have the technology yet, but we'll get to it in a bit. This absolutely, though, will end up taking forever to complete, so I could just stand around here, but instead, we're gonna go work on some new things. Tech-wise, we're through a lot of the essentials that I wanted, so maybe the time for nuclear is actually now. And there's just this tiny little patch over here that we're gonna start using. Just need a splash of sulfuric acid to actually mine the stuff. Oh, but hey, look at that, the sulfuric acid right there. Yippee. Which means we now should have uranium. Uranium processing unlocked, which leads us into nuclear power. We can build ourselves a giant nuclear reactor setup with some steam turbines. We get the uranium fuel cell, which gives us our spicy backpack. And after we're done with that research, we have to get Kovaric's enrichment process, because this is practically essential when messing with nuclear stuff, and we need the space science for that. Space science? I think it's time for you to come on down, brother. We want all of it. We have so much space science up here. Holy macaroni. Oh, but there we go. Oh, perfect. Space science is on world. There we go. Send them on down. We got lots to research. Oh, so much to research. And so much processing to do. And once we have nuclear power, we can have other nuclear things. A couple things first though. I went to the gym, did a little bit of leg day, and we now have the Power Armor Mark II with exoskeletons out the wazoo. Things will be even better once we have the nuclear backpack. First, we need the nuclear setup, right? So I automated all of the buildings that have to do with nuclear reactors and centrifuges and whatnot. Then for the nuclear setup, we are going to build it kind of just over here. We have our existing power plant already next door. And then up north, we had a lot of space. And right even closer by is a bunch of uranium. Big old node ready to be scooped. I actually put it all into a train though, because I didn't think I'd build a nuclear power plant here, and I was like, oh, this is a great spot. And then it's like, why didn't I just belt the uranium over? Well, be quiet. I guess this helps us with future-proofing a bit. The only other thing would be to have like probably a fluid train or a fluid car at the end of this. There we go, so we can have some sulfuric acid brought to future uranium nodes, because we'll probably run through this pretty quick, but we'll handle that later. For now, we have to process the uranium. And how it goes is you use a centrifuge to make the ore into uranium-238 and 235. 235 mixed with the 238 and some iron plates makes the uranium fuel cells. But with a Covarex reprocessing, you can turn the 238 into 235, and it just takes forever and a lot of power. It's just really annoying to set this all up though, because the inputs and outputs are the same, except you'll just get more 235 slowly over time and less 238. What you want to do is bring in the 238 and 235, have it go up this way, have the same materials go out the other way, and loop back into the beginning of the system without the beginning of the system be overflown with like this stuff from earlier, which is like all down here, right? And then it's a whole thing. It's really annoying. You know though, with the splitters, you can just make like a priority thing. I guess you could like micro this a little bit. One second, let me fiddle with this for a moment. I wonder if something like this could work. You bring everything in through here. This could be filtering the 235. This could be filtering for the 238. And then the priority can be for things to go out on the left here. Does that technically work? Like we had like 238 and 235 going down here. Priority will go into this centrifuge. The outputs would then re-enter this, and eventually this system should back up, and then the excess stuff should go to the next machine. It's probably tileable too, right? I don't know. You know, honestly, I would try that, but the Covarex stuff takes forever to get going, and I already built a solution my last playthrough. So thank you, Past Kibs, for holding on to that one. So here's the dealio. The train drops off the goodies. Also added that sulfuric acid to it. And the goodies go through initial processing. These centrifuges turn the uranium into the goodies. That goes up through these belts here. Sometimes we get 238. Sometimes we get 235, doesn't matter, goes down this way and is sorted through all the spaghetti so that the 238, is that the dark green one? Oh, I'm so smart. The 238 goes on the left side of the belt and the 235 will be on the right, and that enters this system, and the uranium gets looped around over and over and over again. And eventually, more and more and more 235 is going to be spat out this way, go through this loop over and over and over again until there's so much 235 it spills over to the next system. Then the same thing will happen here. Tons of 235 out the wazoo, same system, da 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 da, all the way to the end of the line where the whole system will start looping over and over and over again until we have so much 235 we don't even know what to do with it. JK, I lied. We know exactly what to do with it. We're gonna make nuclear weapons, of course. Oh yes, and of course, nuclear power as well. Yeah, once it all goes through the loop, some of it, the 235, is siphoned off and goes down this way to make both the weapons and these fuel units. Fuel units are then going to go into a nuclear power plant. When I was running through my blueprints for the Covarex setup, I found this other blueprint for a nuclear power plant. But even before that, I think this was made originally by another creator named Nilaus, who is like the most uber hardcore Factorio player ever. And if you're looking for that kind of content, check out his channel. As we're getting going with nuclear here, yeah, this blueprint will be perfect. Everything is balanced out, so the fuel rods go inside. They're yoinked into a setup of 4 reactors, and then the depleted fuel is sent out to be recycled. And oh my gosh, this stuff takes forever. Forever. I tried my best automating beacons and the Mark II speed modules and getting like productivity packs and all this stuff, but bro, I left it running for like an hour and hardly any of it was through with the processing. So I downloaded like a game speed mod, upped the game speed to like a quadrillion, and then boom, system's done. We have all the goods. Everything goes into here. That gets this party started. And what will happen is the fuel will go into the reactors here. They will come to life, boil some water. The steam goes out through these turbines, and that actually makes our power. Nice thing about this blueprint, I must say, is that it's tileable. We can have one reactor here, and then how these belts are set up, we can just copy and paste another reactor to the left again and again and again, which is really, really nice. The depleted fuel cells are yoinked off of this splitter and go back to recycling. As for our weapons, if we lost like a box full of nuclear weapons, I would lose my mind. So they're a little defended, and they'll end up over here. These rockets, though, are expensive, man. Each nuclear missile takes 100 enriched uranium-235. So I'm glad we have this all set up. In fact, I might even expand on the system later on. Oh, the main thing is there are first missiles. Give me those. Give me those. We are now in the atomic age. Now, what should be our first target? Our reactors? I thought about it for a second. But no, they're up and running. Nuclear power has been achieved. Turbines are flying. Power graph is gonna be like, wow. Thank goodness too, because I didn't even realize how much power we're using with the centrifuges. 87 megawatts? Wow. Look at the power graph though. Everything before was just like, you know, little solar panels. Then suddenly, kabang! Look at all that red line. Main thing is, it's running, it'll do what it's gonna do. I wanna find a target. I see a target. I'm scared. Use an atomic bomb? Yes, yes, sir, we did. Oh, that's a flamethrower. Oh, that's a lot of bugs. I'm scooting out of my mind. Wall, deal with the rabble. I must launch another nuke. Think we'd stop with one? Oh, I don't think so. Number 2! Now we're playing Factorio. One last nuke for the road. And kaboom! Giga Nest obliterated. My favorite thing is on the mini-map, it shows like the giant nuclear craters. That's like the best part. And because of our nuclear setup over here, we're gonna have lots and lots of weapons very soon. However, though, that is gonna be all for now, and we'll mess with more nukes next time. And until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.